Habit 4. Invest consistently. Keep investing regularly, even with small amounts. If there's one money habit that separates the truly wealthy from everyone else, it's this. They invest consistently, no matter how much they make. There's a dangerous lie many people believe, that investing is something you do after you've saved enough money, that it's only for people making six figures, or for those who already have extra. So they wait, they delay, they tell themselves, one day when I have more, I'll start. But that day never comes. Because the truth is, investing isn't about having more, it's about starting now. Let's break this down. The 1% don't just save, they invest. Because saving alone won't make you wealthy. In fact, if you're only saving and never investing, you're losing money to inflation every single year. You can stash your cash under your mattress. You can keep it in a basic savings account. But if your money isn't working while you sleep, you're falling behind. That's why the wealthy treat investing as a monthly ritual, like brushing their teeth, like going to the gym. It's not a someday thing, it's a discipline, and it doesn't matter how small you start. Meet Daniel. Daniel is a school teacher. He makes $45,000 a year. Not exactly Wall Street money. But 5 years ago, he started investing $200 a month into a simple index fund. He didn't wait for a windfall. He didn't try to time the market. He just set it and forgot it. Today, that $200 a month habit has turned into over $17,000, and he's just getting started. If Daniel keeps going, that same small investment could grow into hundreds of thousands by retirement. All because he started. All because he was consistent. Now contrast that with someone who waits until they're 40 to start investing, even if they put in double the amount. The math is clear. Time in the market beats timing the market, every time. But here's the real secret. Investing isn't just financial, it's psychological. When you invest, you shift your mindset from consumer to owner. You stop thinking like someone who just earns and spends. You start thinking like someone who builds, someone who grows, someone who plants seeds for a future harvest. This change in identity is what the 1% understand. They're not just rich because they earn more, they're rich because they think differently about money. And investing consistently, even when you don't feel ready, is how you train that mindset. So where should you start? Step 1. Educate yourself. Learn the basics. Understand what an index fund is, what a Roth IRA is, what compound interest really means. You don't need a degree in finance, just curiosity and commitment. Step 2. Choose simplicity. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to chase crypto trends. You need a long-term, diversified strategy that you understand and can stick to. That's it. Step 3. Automate your investing. Set up an automatic contribution, even if it's $50 a month. Make it happen without thinking. Consistency beats intensity. Step 4. Think long-term. The market goes up, the market goes down. But historically, it always grows over time. Don't panic, don't pull out, keep investing. You're not trying to get rich quick. You're building something that lasts. And don't underestimate small beginnings. A single dollar invested wisely today is more powerful than $100 you never invest tomorrow. That's the magic of compound growth. It's not just math, it's momentum. But here's what stops most people. Fear. Fear of losing money. Fear of not knowing enough. Fear of looking stupid. And yet, doing nothing is the riskiest choice of all. Inflation doesn't care if you're afraid. Time doesn't pause while you figure it out. Every year you wait is a year you lose. The 1% aren't fearless. They're informed. They don't wait until they feel ready. They become ready by taking action. And you can too. Start with what you have. Stay consistent. Build the muscle. Because investing isn't just for the rich. It's how they became rich. So stop telling yourself you're too broke to invest. The truth is, you're too broke not to. Make investing a habit. Make it boring. Make it automatic. That's where the power lies. Because wealth isn't built by chance. It's built by discipline. 1 month, one contribution, one mindset shift at a time. Invest consistently. Own your future. Habit 5. Learn before you earn. Focus on building knowledge before chasing income. Most people chase money. The wealthy chase wisdom first. That's one of the clearest differences between the average person and the top 1%. While the majority rush to get a paycheck, the 1% slow down and ask, "What do I need to know first?" They understand something the rest of the world tends to overlook. You can only earn at the level you think. If you've ever felt stuck in your income, if you've ever wondered why you keep working hard but never seem to break through, it might not be your job, your boss, or even your degree. It might be that your thinking hasn't upgraded yet. You see, the 1% spend more time learning than they do earning, at least in the beginning. They read books, listen to podcasts, study people, learn industries, not just to pass time, but to level up their value. Because they know the money always follows value. Imagine this. 2 people start with the same job at $40,000 a year. One clocks in, clocks out, and waits for the annual 3% raise. The other spends their evenings learning sales, marketing, psychology, investing, things that directly increase their market value. Guess who's earning $80,000 in 3 years? Guess who's still stuck at $42,000? The world doesn't reward hard work alone, it rewards smart work. Strategic thinking, deep learning. That's what the wealthy understand. Let's talk about Sam. Sam was broke at 25. He didn't grow up around money. No one taught him how to manage it. But he made one decision that changed everything. Every day, for 1 hour, he would learn something that could improve his life, financially, mentally, or professionally. He read personal finance books, studied successful entrepreneurs, took free online courses on business. He didn't have much, but he had the internet. He had time, and he had hunger. By 30, Sam had doubled his income, twice. By 35, he had multiple streams of income. And no, he wasn't lucky. He just decided to learn before he earned. Most people say, "I don't have time to learn," but they'll binge 3 seasons of a TV show. They'll scroll for hours on social media. They'll spend weekends numbing out. The 1% use that time differently. They feed their minds before they feed their wallets. Because knowledge compounds faster than money. It only takes one idea to change your life. One strategy, one insight, one aha moment that opens a door you didn't even know existed. But you can't access that door if you're not reading, not listening, not thinking. The best part? Learning has never been more accessible. You don't need an Ivy League degree. You need Wi-Fi, curiosity, and commitment. So where do you start? Step 1. Choose a learning goal. Do you want to increase your income? Learn to invest? Build a business? Start with the outcome you want. Step 2. Find the best sources. Books, podcasts, YouTube channels, online courses. Seek people who've done what you want to do. Model them. Step 3. Schedule learning time. Not someday, every day. Even 20 minutes of focused learning a day adds up to over 120 hours a year. Step 4. Apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is wasted. Implement. Experiment. Learn through doing, not just watching. And here's the mindset shift. Learning isn't just a phase, it's a way of life. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind. Think about the most successful people you admire. They still read, they still study, they still ask questions. Because they know the world changes fast. And if you don't grow, you get left behind. Learning also builds confidence. The more you understand, the less you fear. You stop feeling helpless. You start seeing patterns. You stop following the crowd. You start making strategic decisions. In other words, you stop surviving and you start creating. This is what the 1% do. They invest in their minds before anything else. Because once you think differently, you earn differently. You live differently. So don't just chase the paycheck. Chase the perspective. Chase the understanding. Because what you know determines what you earn. Make learning your edge. Make it your daily ritual. Read the book. Watch the lecture. Listen to the podcast. Take the notes. Ask the questions. Because every minute you spend learning is a down payment on your future. The people who rise in life are not always the ones with the best start. They're the ones who never stop learning. That can be you. So before you work another hour, ask yourself, have I learned something today that brings me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, start now. Because the person who learns before they earn is the person who earns more than they ever thought possible. Habit 6. Delay gratification. Sacrifice short-term pleasures to build long-term wealth. Let me ask you something. If I handed you two choices right now, $100 today or $1,000 a year from now, which one would you take? Most people choose the $100. It's fast, it's easy, it's real. And that single decision reflects one of the greatest differences between the wealthy and everyone else. It's called delayed gratification, the ability to wait for something better instead of grabbing what's convenient now. The top 1% have mastered this. They sacrifice today's pleasures for tomorrow's power. They delay the reward. They embrace the wait. They build wealth not by chasing dopamine, but by choosing discipline. But the rest of the world? We're surrounded by now. Fast food, one-click shopping, buy now, pay later, credit cards, same-day delivery. Everything in our culture is designed to seduce you into instant gratification. And the cost? Debt, stress, a life that feels rich on the outside but is hollow underneath. We weren't born this way. We were trained this way, and we can untrain it. Let's talk about Chloe. Chloe made $3,000 a month, barely enough to cover rent and bills. Her dream was to travel, own a home, and start her own online store. But she couldn't seem to get ahead. Every time she had a little extra, she'd spend it on clothes, gadgets, or nights out, telling herself, I deserve this. Then one day, she flipped the script. Instead of spending to reward herself, she decided to wait. She sold her extra stuff. She made coffee at home. She skipped the weekend bar crawl. And every time she said no to something short-term, she said yes to something long-term. Within 12 months, Chloe had saved over $10,000. That became her seed money to launch her online store. Today, she owns a six-figure business, and it all started with one decision. I will not trade long-term wealth for short-term comfort. Here's the painful truth. Instant gratification robs you of your potential. It tricks you into believing you're progressing while quietly keeping you stuck. That $5 coffee you buy every day, that adds up to $1,800 a year. Over 10 years, invested wisely, that's tens of thousands of dollars. It's not about deprivation, it's about intention. Because the goal isn't to live like a monk, it's to pause before you purchase, to ask yourself, is this thing I want right now more valuable than the freedom I'm building? The 1% have a powerful ability to say no today so they can say yes to anything tomorrow. They delay buying the car. They wait before upgrading the house. They resist the urge to impress. Why? Because they'd rather own assets than show off liabilities. Because they know that every dollar not spent is a seed, and seeds given time grow into trees. So how do you develop delayed gratification? Step 1. Set a clear vision. You can't delay gratification if you don't know what you're delaying it for. Write it down. Visualize it. Make it real. Step 2. Practice the pause. Before every non-essential purchase, wait 24 hours. If you still want it the next day and it aligns with your goals, go for it. If not, move on. Step 3. Reward long-term wins, not impulse buys. Treat yourself for hitting a savings goal, not just surviving another week. Build a habit of associating reward with growth. Step 4. Track your progress. Watch your savings grow. Watch your debt shrink. Every step forward will fuel your motivation to keep going. And here's the secret. Delayed gratification doesn't feel like suffering. It feels like empowerment. Because every time you resist the urge to spend, you gain strength. You build muscle. You prove to yourself, I am in control. This is what the 1% do, over and over again. They don't live for the weekend. They live for the vision. They don't chase validation. They chase freedom. And that freedom, full freedom, only comes when you learn to delay what's easy in favor of what's worth it. So next time you reach for your wallet, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is this helping me become who I want to be? Or just helping me feel better for 5 minutes? That question alone can save you thousands. That mindset can buy back your time, your peace, your life. Because money isn't just about what you have. It's about what you're willing to wait for. Train yourself to wait. To want less now so you can have more later. To build instead of binge. To own instead of owe. That's delayed gratification. That's financial maturity. That's how the 1% win. And that's exactly how you will win too. Habit 7. Think in decades. Adopt a long-term financial mindset like the billionaires do. Here's a question that will change how you view your money forever. Are you thinking in days or in decades? Because the difference between a broke mindset and a billionaire mindset is time horizon. Most people think about Friday. The 1% think about the next 30 years. Most people make decisions based on what feels good right now. The 1% make decisions based on where they want to be when they're 50, 60, 70 years old. That's the secret. We live in a world obsessed with speed, fast money, fast results, fast fame. But real wealth, real freedom, that comes from thinking long, from building slow, from planning decades ahead. The wealthy aren't playing a game of days or weeks. They're playing chess over decades. And you can too. Let me tell you about Chris. At 22, Chris started working in construction. He didn't make much, but every month he put aside just $150 into a retirement account. Nothing flashy, no big wins, just consistent long-term thinking. By 40, Chris wasn't rich, but he had options. He owned his home. He had over $150,000 saved. He had freedom, not because he hit a jackpot, but because he played the long game when no one else was paying attention. Meanwhile, others who earned more than Chris had nothing to show. Why? Because they lived for now. They spent everything on experiences and ego. They thought short-term and paid for it in the long run. The 1% live by this core principle. If it won't matter in 10 years, don't let it control you today. And if it will matter in 10 years, prioritize it now, even if no one else understands. They invest like that. They learn like that. They build relationships like that. They raise their kids like that, with long-term intention. This is what thinking in decades looks like. It means asking different questions. Will this purchase help or hurt my future self? Is this job a short-term paycheck or part of my long-term mission? Is this relationship building me up or pulling me away from who I want to become? Most people don't ask these questions. They react. They drift. They let life happen to them. But the wealthy? They design their lives with patience and precision. Here's how you can start thinking in decades, even if you feel behind. Step 1. Define your long game. Where do you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years? Don't just say rich. Be specific. How do you want to live? Where do you want to be? What kind of freedom do you crave? Step 2. Reverse engineer it. What does that future require? How much money? What habits? What relationships? Break it down into yearly, monthly, and daily steps. Step 3. Say no to distractions. Short-term pleasures that pull you off course. Learn to cut them ruthlessly. Every yes to instant comfort is a no to your long-term vision. Step 4. Be boring. Yes, boring. The wealthiest people often live the most predictable lives. Disciplined, consistent, intentional. They don't chase every trend. They stick to a plan. They execute relentlessly. Here's what no one tells you. Thinking long-term is harder in the beginning because no one claps for delayed results. No one cheers for compound growth. But in the end, it's the only game that works. When you think in decades, you stop panicking over the market. You stop comparing your life to someone's Instagram highlight reel. You stop trying to win the race in 30 days. You start building a foundation that lasts a lifetime. And here's the magic. The longer you're willing to wait, the less you'll have to struggle later. The more patient you are now, the more explosive your results will be in the future. This is the mindset of every self-made millionaire. Not luck, not hacks, not timing, just long-term thinking, practiced daily. Because when you think in decades, you become unstoppable. So start today. Don't just budget for this month. Plan for the next 10 years. Don't just build a skill. Build a legacy. Don't just chase success. Build stability. This is how the 1% live. They don't think about someday. They create it. Brick by brick, choice by choice, year by year. And now you can too. So ask yourself, are you thinking like the broke or like the 1%? If this video sparked something in you, if it made you rethink the way you see money, habits, and your future, then don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Raidspire now for more life-changing insights that go beyond quick tips and into the mindset of lasting financial freedom. Share this video with someone you care about, and let's build a community where growth is the standard. And before you go, drop a comment below. Tell us which habit hit you the hardest and what change you're making today. This isn't just a video, it's a new beginning. Let's rise together.